Hey, how's it going? So I wanted to make a recap video and a prediction video for Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. T-Wolves versus the Mavericks. This game, Game 7, was an unbelievable rig. And of course, the talking media pundit Zio sellouts never even bring it up. Just completely gloss over and omit everything that actually is happening in the game. The thing is, most people are starting to wake up. I'm telling you, the Denver Nuggets had at least a 3-1 call advantage. If you include all the marks of a rig, no calls should be included in that as well, which means if it should have been a foul and they didn't call it, then that is a call that went in the favor of the team that is getting it rigged for, namely the Denver Nuggets. The T-Wolves are just a force of nature, and even with the rig, Denver got blown out in this game. I would call it a blowout. 9 points in the fourth, they lost by, and that's with massive call advantages in Denver's favor. And then, of course, a 14 point blowout in the third. If you look at the first half, it was insane how many phantom foul calls Jamal Murray got in his favor. They gave 3 to Jaden McDaniels just in the first half alone on nothing. In the replays, there was literally nothing. Look at these fouls. 6 to Gobert, 6, 5 to Towns, 4 to McDaniels, and a couple for everyone else for the most part. And so, what really was happening, my wife and I were theorizing, was they got into foul trouble early in the fourth. Denver, they were real fouls. Aaron Gordon, right here at 11:48. I rewatched this game, and they were actual fouls. And they started giving a bunch of free throws to Rudy Gobert, which would appear like they're trying to get Minnesota to miss free throws, give them opportunities, and they would assume like the hack-a-shack, he would miss it. But he kept making them. Then all of a sudden he fouls out on nothing calls, nothing. Towns also got into foul trouble on literally nothing fouls. One on Joker, and I rewatched it 3 times. He just touched the ball on Joker. And then Edwards, they blocked Jokic on one end, got the rebound, and it was a clean block on Joker. Edwards comes down, and they karate chop him across the arm. No call, nothing. It was the worst foul probably of the game, let alone not even being called, and a ref was right there to see it. It's through the roof how many rig calls there were in this game, and Denver still lost people. That should give you an inkling of how good this Minnesota team is. Generational defense matched with a little clunky offense, but there's so much talent on the team that it is a force of nature. This team should easily sweep out the playoffs, the rest of the playoffs. My battery's going to die. Hold on. So, what will Game 1 bring in the Western Conference Finals? That is obvious. The only hope the NBA has at making this go 7 games, assuming the players aren't in on it, mind you, which I don't think they are, but you never know, is similar to what you saw in the Denver series. Massive, it's always the same crap. Massive free throw, foul discrepancies, players in foul trouble. Luka getting called for in his favor, phantom fouls on McDaniels and Edwards, sending them to the bench. 2 quick fouls in the first. That means they might keep him out there, but they'll be playing soft, not wanting to pick up the third, and that opens up key open looks for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, there is an off chance they might actually let the Timberwolves play basketball because it's not against the interest of the NBA to see the T-Wolves actually demolish the Mavericks. They should demolish them given a fair setting. Look over here, Scott Foster ref Game 7. Right, besides the point. But and then the main thing, I mean, A side note here is Mickey D's, Jaden McDaniels, might be my favorite player in the league. Mickey D's, that's his nickname. Mickey D's is just incredible at what he does on the court. Not only defensively, offensively wise, he can actually play as well. But so I do think that the Timberwolves are going to win. I do live around Minnesota and follow them, so I don't think I'm that biased. I'm really tapped in with this specific team, and I don't think they're the best team in the league. I know they are, right? But so it's a tough one. I think Minnesota could easily win this game by 25 points if they bog the game down and give the Mavericks like 35 free throws or like 15 to Minnesota. We haven't seen that big a rig, the LBJ type rigs in a while in the NBA, but you never know. They might drag this out like that, and it'd be excruciating to watch such a horrific display of sports, if you call that this. I mean, the NBA is so pathetic. It's tough to imagine why anyone watches this league and why I'm stupid enough to even follow it. Mainly, it's because of just brainwashing from a young age. I'm addicted. I'm like a drug addict. It has to be that. There's a certain dopamine, adrenaline rush that you get from following this and watching sports and so forth. But Minnesota should win in just convincing fashion, easily. If you see a bunch of free throws, phantom fouls, Kyrie going to the free throw line all the time, it shifts the momentum. So if they're getting open looks, if the Timberwolves are afraid to play defense because of previous fouls being called on them, that opens up a momentum based run based off the rig. That's why it's a mark of a rig, shift of momentum. Uh, it could go the Mavericks' way. I don't believe it will, though. The defense of the Wolves is just so stifling, and this was a heck of a Nuggets team that they just made it through with a rig, mind you, with a rig. So Mavericks will easily and should easily fall, and we'll see what level the NBA is going to go to drag this out to 7 games because they will have to do a number. Saying like 2016 LBJ Cavaliers, just insane stuff, or 2013 Cavaliers I think it was 2013 versus the Bulls, Cavaliers versus Bulls. Oh shoot, or what? It might have been LBJ on the Heat at that point. I can't remember. Sorry, it's been a while. But they were unbelievable rigs. I'm saying like 44 free throws to 14 for the opposing team for the Bulls Thibodeau teams. They could have won a title or two, the Bulls back then 10 years ago, right? So that's the level of obvious overt rigging that they'll need to do. And honestly, I don't think the NBA wants to do that. So I'm thinking the Wolves could easily dominate, at least at home, if not the entire series, sweeping them. Worst case scenario, assuming there's not a huge rig, 5-1 series win for the Timberwolves. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.